Great evening, great evening, great evening. I will be right back in one moment. Great evening, and great evening once again. As promised, things are looking a little bit different today because it is way too hot in the studio. So I decided to do things a little bit different. And so that is what we will be doing tonight. So, in the interim, great evening, and great evening once again. And welcome to the SONYA Dungeee podcast, where conversation is always the essence of the soul. I am your host, SONYA Dungeee, and yes, still bringing the heat to the IG, Facebook, YouTube, excuse me, and the TikTok streets. This episode 162 is being brought to you by Always Destined for Greatness LLC. And if you see, I'm very red. It's because I'm very red. It's very hot in here, and I'm having the air conditioner installed as we speak. But podcast must go on, so we're just going to make it happen tonight. So, with that said, how are all of you bosses tonight? How are you doing? Let me know where you are tuning in from tonight. And I am going to pop in and see exactly where you're tuning in from tonight. Let's see. We have Jacksonville in the building. We have Florida in the building. Harlem is live and popping. Dallas is on. Yes, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you 100%. See here what's going on. Okay, so if anything that is addressed tonight is of value, please put it in the comments. Value, if it resonates and you are able to relate, put that in the comment as well, because I want to know. And if you had an aha or a breakthrough moment, please by all means let me know. And just know that I see you, I hear you, I feel you, and I greatly appreciate you. So let's go ahead and get in tonight's episode 162. And we're going to talk about stuck with no luck. Okay. So let's start addressing that, shall we? So let's first discuss what the true meaning of stuck means as it pertains to the area in which we are going to be talking about tonight. Okay, so stuck is the inability to move, change, or progress in some way. It refers to that physical states of immobility, a mental or emotional state of being unable to move past a problem or a feeling or a situation where one is trapped and unable to escape. So, a better example would be me. So, please allow me to share my story, and you'll get the true meaning of stuck as it pertains to tonight and where I'm coming from. So, my story began back on January 23rd of 2021. It was a Saturday. It was during the height of the pandemic. It was at the VA hospital in Northport, New York. And just a quick background for those of you who are joining for the first time, and thank you so much for that. I was my dad's caretaker, per se. He really didn't need too much taken care of. He did for himself. My dad worked, he had retired, but he was bored, and so he worked. for a bus company, and he drove his ladies around, as he would say. He gave them great joy. He would drive them to the mall. He would take them to the supermarket. He would take them to go get their hair done, nails done. He just really enjoyed driving them around. They were in a senior citizens community, and it was through his idea. He got his bus company to do that. So, with that being said, that's what my dad was doing up until about 2 months before his passing. But so back to the story. So on that day, that Saturday, um, I actually sat at my dad's bedside. I held onto his hand. I looked in his eyes. I saw a tear come down his cheek. And it was at that moment that he took his last breath here on this earth and his first breath in heaven. And it knocked me for a loop. I didn't expect it. My dad, he had a blood disorder where he would just have to go for blood transfusions every couple of weeks. And as his doctor, who was the head of rheumatology and endocrinology, said, his body was like a old engine. He said, you don't go and buy a new engine for an old car if it's leaking oil, as the oil was blood per se, and he wasn't leaking outward, it was internally. You just keep putting more oil in the engine. And in my dad's case, he was just going for blood transfusions, like I said, every couple of weeks. And 48 hours before his passing, I took him to a doctor's appointment, and that's when we found out he had 6 months to live. And I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. I didn't know where it was coming from. It was never discussed. And there's some things around that, we'll talk about it another time. But it was basically, he was introduced to a medication. It was another doctor, because the head doctor had left, and another doctor that I never saw before came in and convinced my father to take this medication. And about 6 weeks later, here I am now, watching my father take his last breath here on this earth and his first breath in heaven. So as a result, like I said, I was shocked, dismayed. I couldn't move. I didn't know what to do. I screamed, I cried. It was awkward. It was during the height of the pandemic. My family, who could be around, they were outside in the frigid cold. It was one of the most coldest days of January. Then I had other family members that was on a Zoom. And yeah, some people might say a Zoom, that's kind of morbid, but actually it's not, when that's the only opportunity that you can get to say goodbye to your loved one, because only two were allowed in at the time. And then I didn't have time, the family didn't have time to travel from Florida and all over the United States and other countries to get here. So with that being said, from making that decision and telling them it's time, and them unplugging everything and watching him take his last breath, I was stuck. I had to be literally pulled from the hospital, like literally pulled. The boots that I had on made it easy to drag, but I could not move. I was stuck. And that stuck lasted for 342 days. Stuck. And in that, I was doing the same thing every day. Because of the pandemic, I was working from home for the first time, so I didn't have to leave. I stayed in my room all the time. I had a bathroom, so I really didn't have a reason to go anywhere. I'd walk from my bedroom into my shishi room across the living room. I'd do my job, whether it be 6.5, 7.5 hours, whatever my tour was. I'd shut down at the end of the day, walk back across the living room and back into my bedroom again. I had lost a lot of weight. I was suffering in silence. I didn't want my family to know how I was really hurting. I was broken, because I knew that they were grieving, and I didn't want to add to that grief. It was about my dad. It wasn't about me. So in that time, I was running back and forth to the cemetery, and that was all I was doing. I didn't realize I had lost so much weight. I wasn't eating. I wasn't even thinking about eating. And that's all I did. I was a gerbil on a wheel, or hamster on the wheel, as some people say. And I was just doing the same thing day after day, day after day after day. Just barely getting up, showering, just slapping my hair back, just jobbing, going to the cemetery, and that was it. And in the midst of that, at the time, I had 3 grandchildren. Now I'm blessed with 4. I wasn't spending any time with them. I wasn't spending time with family, nor was I spending any time with friends. I wasn't taking phone calls that often. I just wasn't doing anything. But when enough became enough, and I started to realize that putting on clothes and they were literally falling off of me, that something was wrong and it wasn't right, that I wasn't spending time with my family and I was letting time go by. And when I realized I didn't die, my father went to be with the Lord. I didn't die. God did not take me. And so with that, I seek the support of a coach and mentor and a community to uplift and support me, and non-judgmental. Call me out if need be. But that's what I decided that I needed to do. I wanted to do it, and I did do it. And my mentor and coach, friend now, family, he told me in the beginning if I was coachable, if I was teachable, if I showed up, if I did the work, he would help me get to be where I wanted to be, go in the direction I wanted to go. And so in my mind, I was like, yeah, I'm going to show him I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. But then I came to the realization I didn't have to show him anything. It wasn't about him. It wasn't about my community, me proving to them I could do it, because they already knew I could do it before I knew I could do it. I didn't miss a class. To this day, I still have not missed a class. I was in my class and every other class. Every time there was a new class, I was in that class. To a point where I didn't even really know which one was my class, because my class ended up being first Mondays, then after a while I graduated and I went to every other Thursday, but I went to every class. I started out with boot camp and I just kept going. And you see, I shared that with you because I found my purpose. And I know that I went through the grief, the hardship, the life challenges for a reason. It's part of my story. And now I'm a transformation coach. And I get to help those that are struggling in the hardship and broken with no direction and no end in sight, just the same way I was feeling. So I get to help them to become unstuck with clarity and an attitude of expectation and of excellence so that they can achieve economic independence and so that they can be destined for their greatness and walk truly in their God-given purpose. And so I share that with you. So besides the meaning of stuck, by me sharing my story, you can get the feeling and understand exactly what it feels like. And possibly that you can relate to that. And maybe it's not you, but maybe it's somebody that you know. And if that's the case, I welcome you to welcome them tonight, to watch the replay, to join in every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Because you see, I didn't have that. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know that there was podcasts, and I didn't know that there was transformation coaches. And in my instance, as a transformation coach, I'm walking the walk and I'm talking the talk and I'm leaning and learning And I'm truly leading from experience. And so with that being said, we're going to move on to tonight. So tonight, I want to give you 4 steps to be able to move forward from stuck. And as you know, there's many degrees of stuck. It doesn't necessarily have to be grief. And we've talked about it on many occasions, and you can feel free to go back into the previous podcast and watch, so that if you're not relating to the grief, you can relate to possibly an empty nester or somebody that's going through divorce or that's in a storm. But know that if you are in a storm, know that you will be okay. You will come out on the other side. And when it comes to talking about grief, I'm not saying that you'll never grieve again. By me telling my story, the point is, the lesson in it is to not allow yourself to be so consumed that you become stuck like I was. I don't want anybody to ever go through what I went through, whether it's grief or life challenges or hardships. It's okay to grieve. It's okay to be stuck, but just don't allow yourself to become too stuck for too long, because it's not conducive to your mental or your physical capacity. So with that being said, we're going to talk about number 1. And number 1 is seek new information or perspective. When you're feeling stuck, it's easy to get tunnel vision. Talk to someone. Find yourself a coach, just like I did. I'm here for you. I am here for you. And in that, research different approaches. Research in finding your help. My niche is people who are stuck but are ready, willing, and able to move forward from stuck. You see, I had to learn the hard way. I'm an encourager. I love people. I want to help everybody. But then I had to get knocked down a peg to realize that I can't pull people off the struggle bus. I can't want it more than they want it themselves. And I know that you are out there, and I know that you're struggling. I get DMs and text messages and phone calls all the time, and I welcome them. I welcome them. And those are the people that I want to work with, because they're ready, they're willing, and they're able. They just need the direction and how to do it, just like I needed direction. And in that, number 2, we've all had goals and dreams. We all have goals and dreams. Some of us has put them in the back burner. Some thought that, oh, it's just a dream. I'm never going to be able to do it, so forget about it. It's never going to happen. It will happen if you want it to happen bad enough. Take those goals and dreams that you thought you could never accomplish off the back burner. Put them to the front of your mind. Make them SMART goals. Some people say SMAT. Some people say SMART. Make manageable steps that you can progress and build momentum. And in that is, if you have big goals, break them down into smaller goals. And every time you hit a goal, celebrate. I don't care what you do to celebrate, but celebrate small wins. Do something for yourself exclusively. And then when you hit your next goal, celebrate that goal. And the next goal, and the next goal, and the next goal. Because let me tell you, it feels good celebrating a win. And if you're not sure exactly how to do that, we've talked about that before too. And go ahead and watch a previous episode. And if you're not sure you need help with that, no problem. Reach out to me and I will send you a heart to heart with Sonya calendar. And I will give you 30 minutes of uninterrupted time. And together we can make that happen. And 3, change your environment. Sometimes a change of scenery or a shift in your daily routine can spark new ideas and energy. Try working from a different location. I'm doing that tonight. There was no way I could make it in the studio. The studio was way too hot. So I said, okay, I'm going to change the environment. Take a walk or even incorporate a new activity into your day. And also, when I mean change your environment, you might want to promote and demote. And that's a hard thing to do. Trust me, I had to do it myself. If within your environment, within your community, or what you think is a community, if they're not uplifting you, and if they're not talking positivity, and if they're not encouraging you, uplifting, supporting, making you feel valuable, but still calling you out if the need be, well, then it's time to demote and promote anew. Four, reflect on your past successes and identify what worked. Remembering past challenges you've overcome and the strategies you used can provide valuable insights and boost your confidence. Reflecting on what helped you in the past can offer clues for how to move forward now. I'm not telling you to go back and stay there. I'm not telling you to rely on the pen of the past to write your future, because trust me, don't attempt it. Don't do it. I'm just telling you, suggesting that you go back in reflection on what could help you, uplift you, catapult you. Okay, and I was going to give you a number 5, but since we're 1 week away from the next Boss Masterclass that's happening on July 2nd, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I figure we can talk about it then. Because I want to help you. And in me helping you, I'm offering you a free masterclass. And this masterclass is something that I do once a month. And it's free. There's no strings attached. So this Boss Masterclass is going to be the 5 key considerations to gain control, become unstuck, and be liberated. Because Lord knows, between spiritual warfare being at its finest and all the political things that are happening right now, we all need what I have to offer on this next Boss Masterclass. And after all, we're all overcomers, whether you believe it or not. We're all overcomers. That's why we're bosses. But we need to boss up. And what better way to do it than by signing up and joining next Wednesday at 7 p.m. And while I am talking about that, I'm also going to pop into the chats, and I'm reading Community and Mentorship, a powerful and life-changing combination. It absolutely is, because let me tell you, I tried that willpower thing. I tried that for 342 days, and you see how far that got me? I was still stuck. And I'm reading True, you don't want to be stuck for too long. Mentally and physically, it can take a toll on you. Yes, it can. I am a living, breathing example of that. I see value. Thank you. Yes, we need to celebrate small wins. Absolutely, positively. And there's so many ways to do it. It doesn't cost money. It doesn't cost money to do it. That's a powerful topic. Stuck without no luck. Well, that's a dangerous state to be in. A person having no luck. It's time to seek serious help. Yes, it is, because I didn't have luck. It didn't just willfully go away. I didn't just get lucky and me being stuck just disappeared. I wasn't sitting at a machine at a casino and pulling a one-arm bandit and ding ding ding, lights, camera, action. I hit the jackpot. It doesn't work like that. Change is good. Yes, I'm reading value. Reflect on what can catapult you. Absolutely. Absolutely. If you're looking for a community, this is a good one to start with. They will help you with self-care, to money management, to stuff, to grief, to weight loss, to yes, everything. Absolutely. Because for me, my community is amazing. They're supportive, they're uplifting, they're there. Even my darkest moments, they're there. They were there for me yesterday when they didn't even know that they were there for me. You see, yesterday marked the second anniversary of my mother's passing. She went to be with the Lord. And then we got some heartfelt news that a family member, someone that I just talked to more recently, passed on and went to be with the Lord. So yesterday was trying for me, at the very least. And just me being amongst my community, it just uplifted me so much. So much. And I'm reading value, and thank you so much. I so appreciate that. And I'm also on another platform as well, and I can see that you're getting value there. I'm going to do my best to try to pull it up, because what I don't do is ignore people. That I don't do. And I prefer if I'm able to pull it up now versus later. And if I cannot, I apologize in advance, but I will read all of your comments right after. But I thank you so much just the same for joining tonight. And I will drop the link to register once again for the next Boss Masterclass. But I want you to know that you are so valued. You're so appreciated. And I see you and I hear you. I feel you all the time. And when you take the time to comment, it means everything to me. It tells me that what I'm doing is not in vain. It tells me that people are hearing me and that they're able to relate or share the value with someone else that they know is going it through the storm. And I appreciate that week after week you're here. And when I pop up, you show up. And thank you for joining last night. And I hope that you were able to take those safety tips and apply them, because I don't know where all of you are tuning in. I do know the ones that have left where you're tuning in from tonight, but it's been a scorcher. And I just want everyone to be safe. So, with that being said, as always, stay safe, stay well. God bless you all. I'll be looking for you to register. And bye for now. Oh, and before, I'm sorry I missed a couple of comments. I apologize. Prayers, sympathies, and condolences. Thank you so much. And matter of fact, I'll be calling you because I want to share something with you. Thanks a lot for being vulnerable. Absolutely. Value received. Thank you for bringing value on Wednesday nights. Blessed night. Absolutely. And you know what? I have to be vulnerable. I have to be transparent, and I have to share my story so that others will do the same. That's why I show up in the scorching heat. That's why I'm not in the studio. That's why I showed up yesterday in the thick of it all. And it's not to pat myself on the back at all. It's that I made a promise to you that if I could show up, I would be here. Because you see, you never know when somebody needs to hear something that is being delivered in a message. So I thank you for your comments. I wish you all the very best. And remember to stay in the self-reflecting mirror. Talk to that image. Every morning I drop a video and talking about that. So please make sure that you can go back and watch them, and watch for them to come in the morning. It normally happens before 9 a.m. because we're valuable and we are loved and we are appreciated. We're God's children. And don't allow anybody to ever tell you differently. So until I pop up again, I'm going to say it once more. Bye for now.